You found Kalo, 8:80 a.m. I'm Arla, and for the duration of this show, I'll hold your hand as I drag you through the dark and the untamed. The night service begins now. It's April 24th, 1989, 11:03 p.m. Tonight, I'll tell you all about a local livestock dilemma that the Cedar Bend Sheriff's Office can't seem to handle on their own. We'll touch on the missing person reports from the last week. They've begun forming a pattern I've come to understand a bit too well. Maybe you will too. I'll fill you in on the annoying barometric pressure changes that are certainly the cause of your persistent headache tonight. And as usual, we'll take a caller or two. I hope you're comfortable wherever you are right now, because this topic we're diving into will leave a bad taste on your tongue and the smell of grotesquely made lamb chops filling the empty cavities of your skull. Over the last 2 weeks, 6 reports of mutilated livestock have been made to the police department. Usually, the sheriff would hide these reports away in the satanic panic file he keeps in the dusty back corner of the office that no one bothers to actually work in. However, it looks like these reports are a bit more demanding of his time and attention. I've had the privilege of looking over one of these reports myself, thanks to an internal source, who I clearly will not be naming. Sorry, Sheriff Goodwin. The first report was filed about 13 days ago by Mrs. Rickshaw, down on Old Stewart Road. She called into the police department at roughly 6 a.m. with claims that one of her sheep exploded. Now, I'm not much of a farmer myself, but I have a feeling sheep don't just explode out of nowhere. I was lucky enough to receive not only the report, but copies of the photographs taken at the scene. Let me describe to you this image I'm holding in my hand. There's a large silo, the red one that we all drive by on Friday nights after meeting with that almost stranger we said we would never give the time of day to, that appears to be the main focus with a lovely sunrise just beyond it. That is, until you look closer. The white and pink spread across the ground is not early morning sunlight trickery. It's a sheep. Pieces of one, actually. Many pieces. Countless pieces. Exploded sheep? Absolutely. However, when I look even closer, something else stands out. It appears that the pinker parts, the fleshy innards, might be a bit singed. However, the pretty white wool remains entirely white and intact on those many pieces of all different sizes. Another thing that catches my attention is the lack of blood. How interesting. Clearly, this is where the explosion happened. There are too many tiny little pieces of pink strewn about to not be the detonation point. So where is the blood? Our small town's little cult doesn't really perform blood magic, do they? Perhaps someone wouldn't mind giving me a tour of the cult's practices one day. I don't think vampire bites have become explosive. And as far as I'm aware, fireworks and other small explosives don't evaporate 3.6 liters of blood. The sheriff and his gaggle of men seem to just be as dumbfounded as nearly every farm in town has been experiencing these barbecues. My source tells me that we're to expect a lovely visit from the FBI to assist with these matters. Do you think those agents, dressed all sharp with their expensive hair pomades, will enjoy their stay at the little Steelhead Motel? Gordon, the owner of the motel, hopefully stocks up on enough orange juice and pancake mix. Who knows how long this investigation will take? Now, on to our missing persons. We're a small town, you and I, here in Cedar Bend. So when there are 4 people reported missing here in the last week, it certainly draws attention to us. However, take a look around at your family and your neighbors. You'll realize that not one of those who have gone missing in recent days is one of us. They're all outsiders. Those who attempted to pass through and never quite made it. The one who stands out to me the most was a gentleman I'd actually met just before his... well, we don't really know for sure. His name is Blake Anderson. I happened to sit next to him just the other morning at the breakfast bar at the Junko Diner. He ordered a black coffee and sunny-side-up eggs with hash browns. I'm more of a sweets for breakfast person myself, so I ordered a piece of blackberry pie. It's not often that Suzanne makes the blackberry pie, so I order it whenever I can. I said good morning to him, as one does when they sit next to a stranger and eat breakfast together. He told me he was from a small town in Pennsylvania. I told him he had made quite the drive, to which he informed me he wasn't entirely done with. We were just a convenient pit stop close to his destination. How unfortunate that this pit stop turned into a long-term stay. Blake had a road map folded beside his plate, though every route leading out of Cedar Bend had been crossed through in red ink. When I asked which road he planned to take, he stared down at his coffee and said, "Whichever one lets me leave." I can't help but wonder which road led him to his fate, though I have a suspicion. According to eyewitness accounts, the 3 other missing persons were last seen heading down Church Road. I like to take that road when I'm leaving town and heading toward the coast. The scenic views are to die for. If you stop into the general store soon, which you will, make sure you check the bulletin board. Memorize those faces on the poorly printed black and white papers. And if you just so happen to know where one of those faces are, call the sheriff's office to let them know you have one of their missing puzzle pieces. No pressure, though. I would like to remind you all of last year's disappearance of Winona Collins. Winona Collins was a housekeeper over at the Steelhead Motel. When Winona moved here back in 1986, we all welcomed her with open arms and toothy grins. According to Gordon's witness statement, Winona had gone in to clean Motel Room 7, and she never seemed to come back out. One can only theorize what actually happened, especially when the only witness statement comes from a man who lacks social grace and wears his skin like a costume. Sure, it's always devastating when we lose someone to the waters and the woods, but let us not forget those who went missing before their time. While you search for those unfamiliar faces, keep those we know and love in the forefront. And now, we'll discuss the weather. As you know, I'm just a woman in the basement of her cabin. I don't have a weather balloon nor a fortune teller. Not today, at least. Maybe I'll hire one next week. A fortune teller, that is. Though judging by the rain that's taken grip over us the last week, and the barometer on my porch, I'd say we're in for a pretty damn wet month. The rain doesn't seem to be letting up, especially not with the new wave of dark clouds that I saw rolling over town this evening. Jack, that strange little red-headed boy that keeps stealing the old tires from the auto shop's yard, was out in the middle of the road enjoying the rain and deep puddles left in the potholes. I had nearly hit him with my car when I was driving home this morning from an appointment. I pulled over to tell him it was far too early in the day to be parading around in something as cold and wet as the sky's waste, and he informed me, and I quote, "This is just the beginning of it. It's only fun now. Just wait until there's too much of it and the river floods. We can't have much fun then." I suppose he's right. I wonder just what that river will bring to us this time. The barometer on my porch said 932 millibars. Now, of course, I'm no expert, but I can't quite say I've seen it that low before. So if you're sitting there listening to me with a dull ache in your teeth and a floating sensation you can't quite place, just know it's not entirely the fault of the 3-day-old glass of whiskey you forgot on your nightstand that you decided to down in one gulp after you realized your bottles had gone dry. Tonight, you can blame the weather for your problems, and I highly recommend that you do. Before I go and turn on the phone line, I'd like to tell you about something interesting I witnessed yesterday. I was at the gas station, pumping gas as one typically does, when I heard a bit of a commotion just some yards behind me. When I turned to look at the chaotic screams, I saw Edward, the breakfast chef, down at the Junko Diner, clawing at his skin and making noises that would make a hyena jealous. I tilted my head and watched in fascination as he began peeling away that smooth, dark skin from his cheeks. Between the screams and his murmuring something about bugs being under his skin, I'd seen the gas station clerk through the window, with the phone receiver to his ear, so I could only assume he had called the sheriff's office. I put the gas pump back in its designated spot and I took a few steps closer to Edward, just to pick up his words a bit clearer. At that point, he was on the ground, writhing about like a bug himself. His short, blunt nails dug all about his face and neck. It was an absolute mess. But I did notice he actually did have something moving around under there. I dared to go just a bit more close. I narrowed my eyes to focus on the white specks mixed in with the blood and the torn flesh. They were moving in a frenzy. Little white bugs moving and dancing all along his skin and under it. Like the screams and the agony they were inflicting caused them to be excited. I then very quickly decided I didn't want any part of it. I certainly didn't want a chance of one of those little bastards jumping onto my own skin. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I walked forward, I went inside to pay for my gas, and I drove away. Truly a shame. I hope he can return to work soon. If not, who knows how long it'll be until a new breakfast cook is found. We have reached the portion of the evening where I open the phone lines. You don't have to give me your real name. You don't have to tell me exactly where you are. I only ask that whatever you tell me after that is true. The number is 555-0880. Well, that was rather quick. You've reached the night service. What's keeping you awake?
Hi, Arla. Tired eyes here from somewhere I don't want to be anymore.
Hello, Tired Eyes. What's got you so exhausted?
There's a man outside my window.
Is there? Do you know what he wants?
No, I don't.
Have you tried asking him?
I have, well, not tonight, but a while ago I tried.
A while ago, you say? This has been going on for a long time, then?
Too long. It's been 3 years. Every single night for 3 years.
3 years is an awfully long time to not know what someone wants from you. What does this man that has haunted your countless sleepless nights look like?
He doesn't really have a look. I mean, he is wearing all black, but his face, he doesn't have one. I'm looking at it right now, and there just isn't anything.
There isn't a single feature on his face?
No, just a blank tan slab. No hollows, no contours, and no holes.
So for 3 whole years, a man with no eyes to watch you has watched you through your window every night.
Yes, and it's ruining my life. My partner, they left me.
Did that man scare away your partner?
No, I did. I scared them away because I was so tired one day that I thought they didn't have a face either, and I maybe overreacted, and, well, I wanted them to have a face, and I thought I could make them one.
So, let me get this straight. You just so happened to have a moment of delusion where you thought your partner's face was missing. And to help your partner, you went out of your way to make them a face, to show them you cared about them, and they left you for that. They didn't leave you because of your unfortunate, eyeless stalker, or because of your debilitating exhaustion. They left you because you acted out of the kindness of your heart.
I suppose so.
Well then, faceless man at your window aside, I'd say that's some horrible luck. I hope you not only learn to accept your faceless companion, but to live comfortably alongside him. Don't look at your faceless stalker as a burden. He hasn't harmed you yet, right? Maybe try to think of him as a constant. Think of him as the one thing you can really depend on. Maybe that will help those tired eyes of yours finally rest.
Thank you, Arla. You're right. You're absolutely right. He shows up for me every single night, and I don't know why. Maybe he shows up to show he cares about me? I never really thought about him as anything other than terrifying. I'll start to look at him through different lenses and just thank you.
You are absolutely welcome, Tired Eyes, and I hope to hear from you again soon. Perhaps next time, I'll have the pleasure of calling you rested and hopeful. Good night, Tired Eyes. Well, listeners, tonight's stories have been told. The phone is off, and the rain is still tapping very patiently at the windows. Try to get some sleep. Lock your doors. Leave the radio on low. And whatever calls your name from outside, let it keep calling. If it really wanted to hurt you, it would be inside. This is Arla, signing off from K-Low 880 AM. The night service has ended. Good night.
Do you love horror stories that stay with you long after the lights go out? Then check out Tales After Midnight. We bring terrifying creepypastas, chilling horror stories, and unforgettable nightmares to life through immersive narration. Whether you're driving home late, relaxing in the dark, or looking for your next scare, there's always another tale waiting. Search for Tales After Midnight on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, because the best stories always begin after midnight.